Welcome to the MoodMe channel. MoodMe is a new app that allows couples to share their moods, emotions, and desires. With over 400 moods to choose from, communication has never been easier than with MoodMe. MoodMe. There's a mood for that. And now for our featured mood. Welcome to the MoodMe channel. My name is Dr. Nicole Lunan, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of MoodMe. So today we're going to be going ahead and talking about a real life example of how the abandonment cycle could play out and impact your relationships. So what is the fear of abandonment? Well, in the past, you could have physically or emotionally lost a loved one. And it was then that you were taught that the world wasn't a safe place for an open heart, because at any moment, the people you love could vanish. And all of this plays into a cyclic, self-fulfilling prophecy. I like to call this cycle the abandonment cycle. Meet Kylie. Kylie is going to help explain the abandonment cycle. And Kylie's traumatic event happened when she was 9 years old, when her father left her and her mother and started a brand new family. So let's follow Kylie through the abandonment cycle, as this will ultimately help you understand if the fear of abandonment is impacting your life. Here we go. Stage 1, the urge. The urge is a trickster feeling. You may think that you are over dating and opening yourself up to people, only to get pulled back into the urge's gravitational force. A little attention goes a long way, especially if you just got out of a relationship where attention and kindness was lacking. You may think, why not engage in a little bit of flirtation? It's fun and it makes me feel good. It won't go any further than that. And that's where many of us go terribly wrong. Kylie just got out of a terrible relationship. She swore that she wouldn't date anymore. Relationships were bad news. And then the urge came. Kylie was out at a bar with her friends. After grabbing a round of drinks, she turned around and somebody bumped directly into her, thus spilling the drinks on the jacket and the floor. Frustrated, she looked up and saw a good-looking man staring back at her, with an apologetic look on his face. "I'm so sorry," he said, while calling the bartender to gather napkins. "Please, let me replace your round. It's the least I can do." "I don't usually let strangers buy me drinks," Kylie said, while discarding her jacket. "Understandable. My name is Ryan. There, we aren't strangers anymore." As he held out his hand, a smile with assurance spread across his face. Stage 2, casual dating. Kylie and Ryan began casually dating. Dating wasn't something that Kylie was fond of, as it could be awkward, but everything appeared to flow naturally with Ryan. When Ryan would accidentally brush Kylie's arm, goosebumps would erupt, and she would feel a surge of energy originating from deep within. Kylie and Ryan's sexual chemistry was undeniable. Kylie decided to ignore her friend's warnings. "Take it slow, Kai. I thought you said you were done dating for a while." "I just want to have some fun. I haven't gotten laid in a while. Let me," she pleaded with her friends. After all, her last relationship was so serious, and Ryan was the opposite of that. He was lighthearted and seemed to find the silver lining in each situation. It was on the second date that she tumbled into Ryan's bed. Drunkenly making out with each other, they made love for the first time. Ryan was a gentleman and even asked permission, said he would wait, but Kylie knew what she wanted. The last thing she wanted to do was wait. Flirtation plus focused attention and high physical attraction will lead you into the next phase. Stage 3, the honeymoon phase. Kylie felt like she was on a natural high. Ryan had the ability to bring this goddess energy out of her. Her hair was more wild and free-flowing, and she felt like she was glowing from the inside out. One night, Kylie and Ryan were tucked under the covers eating Chinese food takeout. They spoke about their past relationships. "My dad left me and my mom for another woman when I was 9. I just couldn't trust any of my past partners. In one way or another, they always managed to let me down," Kylie explained. They took turns diving into their relationship history while simultaneously agreeing that this time their relationship would be different, that had already started off much differently than the others. Stage 4, reality check. 3 months down the road, Kylie and Ryan began to spend most of their days together. Phrases like, "I love you" and "you are my soulmate" were being thrown around. Kylie even had most of her important belongings at Ryan's loft. Ryan's boss, who was going through a divorce, had become very demanding and requesting that he work longer hours and prove that he deserved a place at the company. At his boss's request, Ryan was to attend a conference in Miami. Ryan being away for a week secretly made Kylie worry. Miami was a party town, and they had never been apart for this long before. "It will be okay," Ryan said. "I'll call you every night." While Ryan was away, Kylie began to develop a tight feeling in her chest. Even though she would hang out with her friends who had been complaining that Kylie had just disappeared for another guy, Kylie's mind was elsewhere. She was wondering what Ryan was doing. Although he had been calling at the end of the night, their conversations were short, and Ryan was drunk from the work dinners. Now that they couldn't touch each other, Kylie began to question how much she really knew him. As if she was coming out of a fog, she was shocked about how the relationship had progressed so quickly when she originally wanted to take some time to heal. Stage 5, the trigger. On the third night, Kylie waited for Ryan's call. Each hour that passed by without hearing from Ryan made Kylie's panic worsen. She attempted to go to sleep only to find herself staring at the ceiling. Whipping out her phone, she looked at his Instagram. Nothing was posted after 7 p.m. Investigating each of the likes on his recent pictures, she checked out the Instagram of a strikingly beautiful woman named Noelle, who worked at the same company as Ryan. She tapped on her stories only to find drunkenly shot snippets of Ryan and his coworkers at dinner, at the karaoke bar, and something that looked like a club. She paused the story on a snapshot of Ryan taking a shot and thought, "That asshole," as a cloud of anger swarmed her mind. Here's the thing, nobody's perfect. And if you expect people to be perfect every second of their lives, you are in for a disappointing future. Stage 6, the reaction. Kylie woke up to 3 phone calls and a slew of "I'm sorry" text messages from Ryan. "I completely blacked out," he tried to explain. "What were you doing out so late? Weren't you supposed to be there for work? And who were you with?" she texted. She didn't want him to know that she had snooped on him. "Listen, I know that I have failed you by not calling, but I called you every other night. You're the one I'm crazy about. These work trips can be a little wild, and most of the deals happen when we're out," Ryan explained. Kylie didn't like the way Ryan answered the question. She decided to ignore him for a while, teach him a lesson. If he were going to forget about her, then she would do the same to him. And who was that Noelle girl anyways? Ryan never told her that he worked so closely to another woman, especially one that looked like that. Stage 7, the prophecy. Kylie couldn't shake this feeling of distrust in Ryan. Memories of how past partners mistreated her swarmed her mind and tugged at poisonous strings. Filled with insecurity and dark thoughts, Kylie went back to Noelle's Instagram and went through all of her pictures and scanned them for comments from Ryan. Kylie was searching for any kind of evidence that would validate her feelings of distrust. Ryan liked many of her pictures and left emoji reactions here and there. Kylie couldn't help but compare herself to Noelle. Why was Ryan paying so much attention to her? Maybe I'm not that special after all, she thought. Stage 8, sabotage. When Ryan returned from his trip, it was like he came back to a completely different girlfriend. Even though he apologized relentlessly for his lack of communication, he felt like Kylie didn't forgive him. On the contrary, he felt like he was paying for it. She would make little paper-cut comments about his character and meaningless things like the likes on his Instagram and ask that he post her more. Kylie had become more demanding in general. She wanted to be with him 24/7, and with the pressure of work, he didn't have much energy left for himself. What used to be a fun and carefree relationship was starting to feel heavy. Ryan was getting frustrated. He didn't cheat on Kylie, however, he was getting punished like he had. All of her negative comments and criticisms made Ryan not want to be around Kylie as much, let alone engage in deep physical intimacy. Stage 9, burned. Ryan ended up breaking things off with Kylie. Everything had changed after his work trip, and he realized that no matter what, he couldn't make Kylie trust him. He felt like he was falling back into people-pleasing tactics and allowing another person to rule his life. Kylie was devastated when Ryan broke up with her. She still assumed that he had cheated on her in Miami and told all her friends that's why they broke up. "I just couldn't trust him," she would say. Her friends would nod and add fuel to the fire by agreeing with her. "He's a freaking jerk," they would say. "He's hiding something for sure. You guys were doing so good before the Miami trip. Something must have happened there." How can you and Kylie avoid this unfortunate ending, stop the sabotage, and have a real chance at a healthy relationship? Stay tuned for our next video, which will cover coaching tips and strategies about how to wrangle the fear of abandonment and stop the cycle.